Hey guys, my name is Gabby. Welcome back to my channel, and today I wanted to film a quick 2020 goals slash 2020 TBR video. My goals for 2020 are basically going to be that I have no goals. I'm just kidding. But my goals for 2020 aren't going to be as crazy as the goals that I set in 2019, because I feel like in 2019, since I set monthly goals for myself, it really limited what I was able to do every single month. And so I feel like in 2020 I don't really want to have any monthly goals. And last year, if you don't remember, my monthly goals that I set for myself in 2019 was to read one of my book of the month selections every month and to reread a book from my reread jar every month. But I think instead of rereading a book every single month, or at least feeling the pressure to, I think I'm just gonna save the last 2 to 3 weeks of the year every year for rereading instead, because I feel like that's so much more fun. I don't think I'm gonna be bringing the reread jar back in 2020, and I think it'll allow me to read a lot more new material instead of feeling pressured every month to reread one of the books. Also, I don't know, I feel like I still definitely want to keep my goal of reading 100 books in the year, because I feel like 100 is a reasonable goal. I never want to push myself too much to read too many things, because reading is fun for me and I don't want it to feel like a challenge, you know? So I feel like 100 books is perfect, because I mean, so far in this year of 2019, I've read more books than I ever have in a year before, and I'm at almost 130 or maybe even more than that by now. So I don't know, I feel like 100 is a stable number every year that I can strive to achieve that, and I don't really want to raise it any higher than that. So I think 100 is going to continue to be my goal in 2020. Yeah, in 2020, I would just like to experiment with more videos, because in July of this year, I was able to do my first reading books outside of my comfort zone, kind of reading vlog, reading challenge video, and that was super fun. So I would really like to try and do that more often in 2020. I was actually going to do another one of those videos in 2019, but then all of these things came up and I just had so many previous commitments that I just didn't have time for another full dedicated video like that. So in the year 2020, I want to try to have less commitments per month so that I can do more fun videos like that, like another reading books outside of my comfort zone video, or you know, those videos that are really popular on booktube right now of reading another booktuber's favorite books. I would really love to do something like that in 2020. So I think I am going to be doing some kind of reading another booktuber's favorite books for a reading vlog kind of video. If you are interested in that, then please let me know, and let me know which booktubers you think I should start with. I mean, I obviously already have a few in mind, and I'm compiling some lists of some books that I want to read and things like that, but that's something that I definitely want to be doing in 2020. I think it'll be a lot of fun. I also do want to continue doing singular reading vlogs for one book specifically that I'm really excited about. And I was thinking since this whole year in 2019, at least at the end of this year, I've been really trying to get into Stephen King. Ever since I read Pet Sematary in October, I've just been very interested in reading more Stephen King since I've read so little from him. So I do think that that's something that I want to continue doing in 2020 as well, and I want to do individual reading vlogs for each Stephen King book that I read. So I think the next one on my list is definitely going to be The Long Walk, because I'm very curious about that one. But then after that, I also do want to read Dr. Sleep. I want to read Salem's Lot, The Green Mile, a bunch of his older stuff that I still haven't gotten to, but then also his newer stuff The Institute I would love to read. So I think I am going to make it a goal for myself to try to do a Stephen King reading vlog maybe once a month or maybe once every other month depending on things. But I would really like to get into the habit of doing Stephen King reading vlogs often, so it's something you can expect from me, because I think they're super fun, and I just really had a great time doing Pet Sematary and Misery, and it's just loads of fun. So I definitely want to make that a priority in 2020. And then some of the books that I would like to get to next year, I have a long TBR, because I feel a lot of these books are books that I either didn't get to in 2019 I wanted to, or they're just books that are incredibly long books, so they're super intimidating, but I feel I want to get to them at some point next year in 2020. The first one that's going to be on my TBR for next year is Middlegame by Seanan Mcguire, because again, this is one that I really wanted to get to in 2019, but I just never got around to it, and since it's over 500 pages, it's a little bit intimidating for me, and I don't know, I would really like to read this one, even though this would definitely be out of my comfort zone. So maybe I could save it for the first reading books outside of my comfort zone that I do of 2020. Another book that's massive that I do want to read in 2020 is Wanderers by Chuck Wendig, and this one is over 700 pages, and this one is like this crazy sci-fi book, apocalyptic book about these people who are basically sleepwalking, and they're like under this spell and they just continue to sleepwalk and they can't wake up. And this book has gotten so much praise this year, and I just really want to read it, but again, it's so freaking huge. I just never got around to it in 2019, so I'm saving it for 2020. Another book that's pretty massive that I want to read in 2020 is Dune by Frank Herbert, because this one is an epic like sci-fi novel, which probably won't super be my thing, but this book is getting a movie adaptation by Denis Villeneuve, who is one of my favorite directors ever, and he's going to be directing the movie adaptation, which is coming out next December actually. So I definitely want to read this before the movie comes out at some point in 2020. We'll see if it'll be my thing or not, but I'm very stoked to actually read this one and give it a shot. And this book is just so beautiful. It's so beautiful. I'm obsessed with it. Another book that I'd like to read next year is Pieces of Her by Karen Slaughter. I actually would like to get into more Karen Slaughter books next year, because this year I read Pretty Girls and I was just completely shook over that book. Like, I could not believe how intense it was and how emotional of an experience it was for me. So I definitely want to read more books from Karen Slaughter, so I think this will be the next one that I read. But I also would like to read some of her other books, like The Good Daughter is one that I can think of. Can't think of any of the other book titles, but this is the one that I'm probably going to start with first. I also have this arc of Every Other Weekend, and this book actually comes out in January, so I am hoping to read this one probably maybe in January. But this one's another like book that's over 500 pages, and it's like a young adult contemporary novel, and it just sounds like super cute and like something I'd really enjoy, so hoping to read this one probably in January. And then The Handmaid's Tale by Margaret Atwood is one that I really wanted to read in 2019, but I just never got around to it. And I feel like this book is another one that would probably be really out of my comfort zone, because this one's like more dystopian kind of, and a lot of people said that this book is really slow, and so like we'll see if this will be my thing at all. But like I definitely want to give this one a shot in 2020 and see, and then maybe watch the show, because I've heard the show is freaking great. And then another book that's on my TBR is Hausa Leaves, because I actually have a freaking amazing copy of Hausa Leaves, and I know that this is considered to be one of the best horror novels of all time. Like, that's what I've heard. And this book is also massive. It's like about 700 pages or so. So I would really love to read this one at some point in 2020. I was actually going to pick it up this October, but I just had so many other things going on in October, like with Imaginary Friend and all these other books that I was reading. So I didn't get around to this one, but maybe next October this will be one that I'll pick up, or when it starts to get into like spooky fall season. Or maybe I'll just read it early on in the year. Like, I don't really know, but I would just really like to read this book just out of curiosity, you know? And I feel like this would be a cool one to do an entire reading vlog just for this book, because I feel like this book is going to be such an experience, because this book is like mixed media, you know? Like, it's just completely like random stuff in this book. It's not a conventional like story. So really excited to eventually read Hausa Leaves. I also would really like to get to The Toll by Neil Shusterman next year, because Scythe was one of my unexpected favorites of this year. Like, Scythe and Thunderhead were two books that I really enjoyed this year. So the third book just came out in November, so I haven't got a chance to read it yet. So I would really like to read The Toll in 2020. Those are all of the official books that I have on my TBR for next year, but I'm really excited next year to just kind of do more dedicated like reading vlogs to things that I think are going to be like super fun. By eliminating my monthly goals that I have for myself, I'll have like more time and more flexibility with my TBRs that I can do things like that. I think I still am though gonna try to read one of my book of the month selections every single month, just because I love getting my book of the month selections so much, but I'm not gonna make it like a strict goal on myself to do, you know, because like that stresses me out, because then if I feel like it's a legitimate goal, then I feel like I have to follow through. But you know, 2020 is just gonna be a more chill year for me. I'm just gonna take things easy. Yeah, that is all for this video. So thank you guys so much for watching as always, and please let me know if you've read any of these books and what are your thoughts on these books. I did make another video called books releasing in 2020 that I'm super excited about, and so I'll link that video down below, because I'm definitely also looking forward to reading all of those books that I mentioned. But I just wanted this video to be more of like, these are the backlist books that I still have to get to in 2020 kind of thing, you know, because you already know about all the books that I want to read in 2020 that are publishing in 2020. Thank you guys so much for watching, and And please let me know, like, what are some of your goals that you have for yourself in 2020? Like, how many books are you planning to read next year? And what are some of the books that are like at the top of your TBR for next year? Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys soon with a new video. Bye.